You think you know what we're going to talk about.
But unfortunately, I fell down a damn rabbit hole and I've not gotten out yet.
Knife bros.
I literally Googled Sebastian Stan hands.
But just when you least expect it, we changed the game.
Well, yeah, because like usually in astrology, they would partner up air signs with fire signs.
All right, you can huggle.
Time travel stories, and
At the end of the day, only one thing matters. We decide.
Well, we should make it a topic. Unfortunately, I didn't take German in school. I took Spanish and I don't remember any of it.
Three Fates Decide podcast.
hello everybody to another episode of Three Fates Decide. I am one of your hosts, Liz, and I'm with my other co-hosts, Sam and Mary. Say hi.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 25. So we decided that, you know what, this would be kind of a fun opportunity to do like an anniversary of sorts, celebrating our 25th episode. Like, wow, who would ever thought we would actually get this far?
Seriously.
I honestly didn't.
Especially, those first couple of episodes, they were a little rough, I'm sure. We've gotten better as we've gone on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, I certainly hope we have. I mean,
Yeah, everyone's sitting there going, no, you guys are still, like, so rough. So,
And that is,
no, I'm
and
joking.
that's why people still download our stuff and listen to it, because
Exactly.
they're probably making fun of how horrible we actually are. And they can't wait for the next train wreck.
the
We've
three-car
caught on.
Another
We've
three-car
caught on,
pile.
people.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Please keep downloading our stuff and listening to it, though.
yes, that is true. I have seen some of our stats, and I have shared it with you two, and I'm actually impressed.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, thank you for people who are, downloading, playing. We don't get too many live plays, which is fine. But who are downloading and listening to us, whether it is to make fun of us or not, it makes us feel good that you are downloading. So, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. So for this sort of anniversary episode, we kind of thought that, we haven't really talked much about ourselves per se since I guess the first episode. So I guess this is the opportunity for us to kind of play catch up on us and not like any other special theme topic like we do in the other episodes. So I guess the first question is to all of you guys as well is what is new? What has been happening to you guys in the past few weeks, months, etc.?
My life has been ridiculously busy since about mid-August, and then for another like 2 weeks or so. So I teach color guard for my alma mater and local high school's marching band. And this is my final season, coaching. And I am very excited to finally be done just because it's a lot of time, rehearsals, like 2 or 3 times a week at night, all day competitions on Saturdays, football games, all that fun stuff. And just takes up a lot of my time as much as I do enjoy doing it. I mean, I've been involved with the program for, I'm totally aging myself, but 21 years. And that's, being a performer and an instructor, not consecutive. I had some years when I went away to college and, things like that. But pretty much since I've been back from college, I've been, consecutively helping. So, it's fun, but at the same time, it's exhausting. And it is enjoyable to see kids learn something new, something different. It is a performing art. There's a lot of dance and, different techniques and stuff like that you have to learn and teach. And it's not easy to teach or to learn. So, that's been my life for the past month and a half, or 2 months, I guess now.
Well, I know when we started all this, I wasn't working. I am now working, so yay! I finally got a job.
Yay!
I am not working in a hospital at the moment. I am actually an in-home care, one of several carers for a elderly gentleman that lives in my local area. He's unable to stay by himself during the day. Needs some help with just keeping himself up and moving and taking care of everything with him. And luckily at night he can still stay by himself because he sleeps all night and he doesn't get out of bed. I Hopefully that doesn't change and he's able to do that, but we've had a little bit of a rough time with him because he's been in and out of the hospital a couple of times since I started working, but I really enjoy it. I work a few hours at night. That gives me all day with my daughter still, and it's nice to have some income coming in for me. And I'm also with two other friends, not you two lovely ladies, though I think we should do this sometime. I'm doing a round robin writing story with two other friends of mine that I met in on the internet while playing a video game that the three of us played at one point in time. So
That's cool.
so we just started that a couple of days ago. It's actually my turn to write again, so hopefully I can get something written up tomorrow for it.
Hmm,
Yeah.
It's cool.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like an original story. We're kind of made I started off fairly vaguely, like just a generic girl, ordinary girl in a no-name backwoods town. Nothing really identifying. That way people can, if we do decide to like put it on like Tumblr or Wattpad or AO3, something like that, um, that it'll be able to draw the reader in and they can be like, oh, this kind of sounds a little bit like maybe this town, or this might be, I could see that happening here or there. You know what I mean? So it's very vague and generic as to like the setting.
Just a small town girl living
Yeah,
in a lonely world.
kind of like that, but
I was in
it's
my head the whole time when you were as you
I
said
had
that, I was like,
it
"Oh,
was in my
man."
head when I first started writing it. I was like, wait, no, I can't do that. No. But it's kind of like, since keeping in the spirit of Halloween, we're making it kind of like a spooky, kind of supernatural themed story. So it's kind of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess since you guys mentioned a little bit about how your careers and busyness, I had my annual review in September and I got a small raise, which is nice. And I found out that I'm getting 4 weeks of vacation starting next year
Oh, that's
Woohoo.
awesome.
because as I jokingly like to say, the company I work at, I've been working there for too long. And the 4 weeks of vacation is proof of that. That's a big thing. The other notable thing was, well, I'm sort of dating us a little bit in terms of like when we're recording this episode, but the previous weekend I was at New York Comic Con. So that was exciting. There hasn't been an in-person con since 2019. So that was good. That was an interesting experience actually.
Yeah, that's sad I
Yeah.
couldn't go.
But I did help you get that e-ticket though.
Yes, you did, and I greatly appreciate it. And I don't remember. I have it somewhere, but I managed to look on a little bit, but again, I've been so busy that I haven't watched everything like fully yet. But it's
Yeah.
good times.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun seeing, especially how well I'm sure like those of us who have ever been to a convention before or are familiar with how conventions work are aware of like how very creative cosplayers are. So I gotta tell you, I was very impressed with how the cosplayers actually made an effort to make their face masks go well with their costumes. Like, sometimes it could be as simple as like, okay, the color matches with some of the colors they're using on their costume, or they somehow found some kind of fabric that is a similar pattern, or the pattern fits the costume that they're wearing. I mean, it's like those little details. Those little details count. So congrats to you if you're that impressive a craftsman. And I do say cosplayers are truly craftspeople. I mean, the dedication, the detail. I mean, the hours spent on these things. I mean, really.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of don't a lot of cosplayers like spend like the entire year creating their costume or costumes?
People that compete in, the masquerades, those people are definitely the ones who will spend like up to a year, planning it out. I mean, it's almost like the Macy's Thanksgiving parade every year where like the day after the parade, you're already planning for next year's parade. I mean, for those kind of people, for those kind of diehard cosplayers, yeah, that's them. All right.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Never
I
do
saw
that.
pictures online and it's amazing.
Oh yes, it's always amazing every year. I guess like I guess one fun thing I got to do was I actually did an autograph session thing with Mary McDonnell and Edward James Olmos, who are
Oh,
of
that's
course
cool.
like pretty well-known actors. But I especially wanted to meet them because I was a big fan of the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. President Roslin and Captain Adama. Well, Admiral Adama.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to say the one I wanted to see and I didn't get a chance to see was the boys. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but
Yeah.
I really wish I was there to meet them because I love that show.
Yeah. I mean, I've never actually watched the show yet because there's just way too many things to watch, as I'm sure some of you listeners are aware of. We've probably mentioned this before in past episodes, but there really is just way too many things to watch and not enough time to watch it all.
Mhm.
So, I
Yeah,
mean,
the only reason why I got into it was because of the pandemic, because I was home. I had all this time to watch stuff and new stuff wasn't being made, so that's how I found it. And yeah, I'm excited for the next season.
yeah. I mean, if I had been watching the show, I might have made an effort to try to see the actors, especially Chase Crawford.
Oh,
He was a last
uh,
minute addition too.
yes, he was, and my God, he is so cute. He is. He's so cute.
I mean, literally, they only announced that he was going to be a guest at the con like maybe less than 2 weeks before the thing. They suddenly made a post on their Instagram account saying, "Hey, guess who we're adding?"
I
This is
wonder if
showing up.
somebody dropped.
Or maybe his
Um,
schedule cleared up or something.
Could
I
be
mean,
that.
maybe that's possible.
I think he's still here.
I guess. I don't
He
know.
was
I
on
mean,
SNL with them too.
well, yeah, he went to SNL like the same Saturday, night as the con. Like he did
Yeah.
his autograph stuff, whatever, that day, and then went later the night. Yeah, I mean, at conventions like this, like they do sometimes at kind of last minute get additional guests to show up. Like I remember back in 2019, it was like maybe about a month or so before the con, they announced, oh, by the way, Tom Hiddleston is going to show up. Oh, by the way, Paul Rudd is going to show up. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go meet them. And I did.
I think Paul Rudd is the one out of everybody that I would want to meet, only because I swear the man is not real, because the man has not aged in almost 30 years.
I know. I
I
mean, yeah.
I don't think I think he might be a vampire. Or he's just immortal. One of the two. I don't know. Somehow. Because the
Maybe
man has not aged in like 30 years. I'm like, you look the same as you did when you did Clueless over 20 years ago. And you look the same as you did for all the movies you did before Clueless.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
love
mean,
his jeans.
it could be a Dorian Gray situation too.
something.
Like,
But well, I mean, it's
Obviously,
worth.
we're joking. We're joking, people, but the man looks good for
oh
what
my
is he,
God, for
50 something?
50? Yeah, he's in his 50s. Yeah, it's it's
Yeah,
he
I
found he
mean,
found the fountain of youth. Apparently, he's not sharing.
Apparently, and I need to know where it is because I need it.
Yeah, like
Like,
share the wealth.
it's like, Paul, buddy, come on, honey. Now, I mean, what do I need to do here?
yeah, I mean, for people who do like to go to conventions, I mean, it was worth trying to meet him because I don't think he typically goes to many
I don't think he
conventions,
does.
which is why as soon as I saw back in 2019 that he was going to show up, I was like, okay, you know what? If I were to pick only just one person to plop down the money to go get the photo op or whatever with, it has to be him because
Mhm.
I mean, it's like trying to find a truffle in the forest. I mean, it's not easy and it's not common. So you got to jump on it when you get it. So,
Yeah. I'm hoping
um
that once Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania comes out in 2023,
mhm.
that he'll come to the con. You know,
Hmm.
I mean,
you know,
maybe.
maybe it's a possibility.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it also kind of depends on when exactly it's going to be released because
Right.
sometimes that is a big factor as to whether they're going to come to the New York con or well, I mean, they usually go to San Diego because that is the con for movies and TV shows to have people showing up at, but because I remember also in 2019 Jason Momoa showed up, and that was also because Aquaman was coming out that coming December. So it kind of made sense to have him show up at a big convention, a couple months before the thing comes out to help promote it.
Yeah. Did y'all hear about what happened on the set of Aquaman 2, though?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. I want to talk about
We ain't talked about it. I just was
it.
curious.
All I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
She needs to be fired. That's it. I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yep.
Do you know what she did? No.
Do I know what she did? I damn well know what she did.
Tried to blind him. Bad.
Yes, she did.
Maybe we could save that for another episode.
Well, that'll be the update to the
Yes.
Hey,
Justice for Johnny episode.
hey, I mean, just for you listeners to be aware of, at any given time, we may do updates, as the case may be, or follow-ups or part twos, however you want to call it, to some previous episodes. So just
Yeah,
just keep your ears out.
I think with that one, because it was literally like the week after we posted the Depp versus her thing, that some new stuff came out, and I was like, crap.
Yeah, so we definitely are going to have to do an update.
We are oracles.
Justice
Or I
for
think it was
Johnny.
it was like the week after we recorded it, or it was something, because I think I did put in there like there will be an updated episode coming down the line, because obviously that's something that's going to go on until the trial's finally done.
Right. And it's not even set to start until what? Next year or the year
April,
after?
I think. No, April 22.
Yeah.
So hopefully, she keeps trying to get it
Dismissed, doesn't she?
dismissed, and they keep saying nope. Thank you.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of the word. Yeah, she keeps trying to get it dismissed, and they won't. They won't do it. So.
But yeah. Sorry to intrude on your
No, that's fine. I
topic,
mean,
Liz, but
it was a
Common
natural.
kindness.
Well, I mean, it was,
it popped in my head. I'm like, oh, guys.
well, I mean, it is a natural segue, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I forget, well, have either of you ever gone to a convention before? I'm just curious now.
No.
Nope.
Oh, you haven't? Man.
I
We're
live
not
in the
nerds.
boondocks, Liz.
No, I know. Well, I know you do, but I don't know. In the past, have you ever been to before? That's what I didn't know.
No.
Because it never came up in conversation before. That's why I legitimately don't know. Because I mean, sometimes like I get surprised by what people have actually done when I never thought they would have done it before. Like not specifically going to conventions, but just like anything. I mean, I've been surprised before when like people tell me, "Oh yeah, I did this thing" or whatever, and it's like, okay, I didn't expect that, but hey, that's cool. So I really didn't know.
Yeah, no, I've never done it. I know people who have gone. I mean, I know we've talked about this before. I don't live far from the city. Like you can see the city from
Right.
where I live, and I worked in the city and of New York, in case you don't know what the city is. That's what we call it. We call it the city. So I live very, very close to New York, but I've never gone because I didn't really get into anything involved in it until I guess kind of like more recently. Like even though like I was a fan of Marvel, I was never like hardcore like I am now. Like really like the
Right.
pandemic just kind of brought me there.
Right.
But, like my best friend's husband went on the Sunday
Uh-huh.
to go see the guy who played Rufio in Hook.
Right. Dante Bosco.
Yeah. And honestly, if I was there, I probably would just look him in the eye and go, Rufio, 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 Rufio.
Yeah. But I think like more people know him as Zuko these days.
I don't care. He's Rufio. Will always be Rufio to me. All that matters.
Well,
And
yeah,
you
I
know
don't
he
know.
would totally respond to that too.
Well, I mean, for him, it may be like something different for him, just because like most people know him from Avatar. So, and that's really the reason why he showed up. And to begin with, was because they were doing a big thing on Avatar at the con. So,
Well, and it's so funny. So my best friend's husband who went when he was
right.
telling some of the people in his office who are like younger, they were like, "Who's Rufio?" And, and I was just like, "Oh my god, we're officially old." These kids don't even know what Hook is. And he was like, the movie Hook. Oh, is that with like the older guy? I'm like, oh God, I'm done. It's like that old movie. It's like freaking Tom Holland in Civil War when he was talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was. Oh, that old movie. I'm like, that's it. You're done. Get out.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Tom Holland, but his version of Spider-Man, I'm just like, when he said that, I was like, you know what, kid, you're done. Go to your room and think about what you have just said.
I just love how Rhodes' reaction was, Jesus, Tony, how old is this kid?
I don't know. I didn't check. What was it? The expiration date?
Yeah.
What did he say?
That was good.
Oh, God. But it's like that's like how I felt when they were like, "Oh, that's that old movie." I was like, "You know what? I don't like you people anymore. Like, you done."
Mm-hmm.
Get out.
I was talking to two of my guard girls yesterday, and we were talking about the whole, generation thing and how I'm not allowed to part my hair to the side anymore and skinny jeans and stuff like that. And I said, "Sorry, but y'all ate Tide Pods. I'm not listening to you." And they were like, "Well, I didn't eat Tide Pods." I was like, "I don't care. It was your generation. You guys are dumb."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
I'm like, I will continue to wear my skinny jeans and I will continue to rock my side part. Thank you very much.
But like the things that are coming back. Like, but they call it something different. I don't even remember. But like bell bottoms, they call it something different. But
Are
they
they
love
fit
them.
and flares now?
Hmm?
I think they're called fit and flare.
It's something like that. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, we love those because like your butt looks so good," and then it like flares out. And I'm like, "Yeah, those are from the 70s."
Yeah. I didn't like those when they came back, when they tried to make those and come back in the
In like
in the
late
90s,
90s.
in
Yeah.
the early 2000s. I wasn't impressed. Now, I like my boot cut jeans. I will wear boot cuts.
Yes. That's pretty much what I wear most of the time. I do have like one or two pair of skinny jeans, but like they're Levi's. So like they're not like skin tight.
Oh, I have like one pair of like the skin tight skinny jeans. Got a couple pairs that are not that aren't they're skinny jeans, but they're not skin tight. I tend to wear leggings now though.
Well, all my all my skinny
comfortable.
jeans were jeggings.
Yeah.
So that, but I stopped wearing them because I just didn't think I looked good in them anymore. And so now I actually have jeans that like fit me nicely and like they're actual jeans, because with jeggings, like you don't have pockets in the front. Like who doesn't put pockets in the front?
Yeah, I
It's just
know.
stupid. Girls like pockets too.
I know.
Yes, we
Hello,
most
we
definitely
always say
do.
something when we have them in our dress. Look, it has pockets.
I have a skirt that has pockets.
Love it. I love when my dress has pockets.
I
It's
didn't like the
best.
bell bottoms when they tried to make a comeback back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but I do like the flare. I do like flare jeans.
I
Or
have
the
to say,
boot cuts, I mean.
I did
Boot cut.
buy the bell bottoms in the late 90s. I did do it. I wanted to fit in, so I did it. I'm sorry.
Eh.
Crap.
I mean, that's being a
I was a sheep.
teenager.
I was a sheep. I had.
I mean, that's
I
part
went.
of
I
being a
went with the
teenager.
crowd.
That's just part of being a teenager. I mean, you think you're being rebellious and original, but
Yeah. No. No.
yeah.
Absolutely. Not.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe next year you can also come to the con. I'm planning to go again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's a lot of
The
fun.
the job that I have, I can pretty much take off when I want, which is kind of nice. That my
Right.
bosses are that cool with it, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
cool.
so I guess out of the three of us, I'm like the grizzled con veteran. I can't even remember how many cons I've been to at this point.
Hmm.
Okay. By that I don't mean like different cons as in like, oh, I've been to New York Comic Con, I've been to San Diego Comic Con, I've been to this con, I've been to that con. I don't mean in that way, but do mean like I've gone to conventions in general for like a few years now. Like, I'm trying to think. I think my first convention ever was actually either 2001 or 2002. And funny enough, it was actually an anime convention in New York City that no longer exists. I managed to get a Sunday ticket and I went there and well, Sunday is arguably the slow day because it's the last day of the convention, everybody's starting to pack up and whatever. So I went and I actually still enjoyed it because I did go to a few panels, which is interesting. But also when I went to the dealer's room / exhibitors hall, which is the part of the convention where you have all these different companies with their own booths. Some of them are selling merchandise and some of them are just having like in the case of like, video game companies, for example, they'll have like multiple consoles for, anybody to test out, some of their existing products and, even show off like, promo trailer things for upcoming stuff coming out in the next couple of months, that sort of thing. So what was fun about going on Sunday was actually, again, because it's the last day of the convention, a lot of these retailers, they will slash prices on their merch because it costs money to ship the leftover inventory back to, whatever factory or warehouse that they store this stuff in. So they're like, they'll do stuff like 50% off, 75% off. And you're like, oh, wow. Okay, this is shopping bonanza right here. So yeah, so if you're the kind of person who wants to bargain hunt your merch, that would be a good day to go do that. Bit of a tip for you, in case you've never been to a convention before. But of course, naturally, the downside is that because it's the last day, you know, you won't have as much selection as you would have if you had gone day one. But if you're not like overly particular, like you don't have a very specific item or items that you are looking for, then you know what, maybe the bargain hunting on Sunday may be your thing. You know, it's like if you just want, like, say, I just want to get, like some kind of novelty t-shirt with like one of the 20 shows or movies that I like, right? If you're pretty open-minded about what t-shirt you're looking for, then you may have some really good deals on a shirt that you will like. So, um, yeah. I guess the one other interesting thing that I should mention to anybody who's never been to a convention before is celebrities. When okay, nowadays, celebrities, they really will charge you a lot of money to get their autographs and taking pictures with them. I don't know about anime conventions now, but I remember when I went to them back in like the early 2000s, voice actors at the time basically did them for free. You just waited on the line, and when it's your turn, you get whatever it is you want signed, and you may have a couple minutes to chit chat with them a bit before the person behind you gets their turn. Nowadays, like it looks like everybody charges you something. Like even if it's like as low as $20, and I do say $20 is cheap, in this sort of thing. I mean, I'm not even going to tell you how much Paul Rudd was, but let's say it was a good amount of money.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were talking like 250, maybe higher.
I will not confirm nor deny any such price point, but yeah, it was definitely a lot. It was definitely a lot. So if you do want to meet, do these things with celebrities like this, you better be prepared to cough up the cash, because otherwise it ain't happening. But I mean, if it's somebody you really like a lot, like really, really like a lot, then it may be worth it. It may be, because especially if you're the kind of person who only goes to the one convention a year, and you're not somebody who travels out of state to go to these things, then you know what? If this is your opportunity to meet so and so, then you may want to go for it, because this may be your only shot. So, I guess like before I get off this topic, I will say my one convention regret was Carrie Fisher, because she was at New York Comic Con, and I did think about meeting her, because my brother is a really big Star Wars fan. Like, he saw the original trilogy in the movie theaters as a kid. This is, that's how much of a Star Wars fan he is. And I had the idea of like, maybe I could find something and then get her to sign it, and then when it's Christmas, I'll give it to him as a Christmas present. But I didn't do a very good job planning it out, so I didn't really have anything, so I didn't do it. And then a couple of months later, that's when she passed away. And I will always regret that I didn't plan it out better. I didn't make more of an effort to do this idea I had. And I seriously regret it so much, even now.
I'm trying to think, when we did that episode, did we mention her? I don't think we mentioned her.
Well, that is a shame on us.
I thought we did.
Did we? I don't think so. No, I don't think we did.
I thought I mentioned the fact that her mom died like the day after.
Don't remember. I edited that episode too.
Okay, maybe we were talking about it before and we just didn't add it into the actual episode. But yes.
See, this is why we need to just record from the moment we log on.
God, we'd be recording for hours.
Oh, God.
That's why
for
we don't
anyone who wants to know, I'm the editor here.
Yeah, Sam is the sound editor for our show.
And this is why we don't do that. We don't do that for Sam's sake and her sanity.
Oh God, yeah. So if the editing is really bad, it's probably because I was so tired that I just wanted to finish the episode, and I went, whatever, it's fine. I tried my best though.
Yes, as for all you listeners, a little BTS here. We all each like have our little roles producing the show for your listening pleasure. um so as we've revealed, Sam is the sound editor for the episode, so she gets rid of our flubs and whatnot. My job is I post all the episodes that are on the feed that you guys are doing your downloading from. So I am, I guess, sort of I don't know, I guess, like, for a lack of a better term, like a producer of the show, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm also managing the feed that we post the show on. And also I do our mediocre episode descriptions as well. And Mary is the one who's handling our Instagram account. So
Yeah. I'm
Marketing.
really sorry, y'all. For me to be the social media manager technically over here, I have really dropped the ball with that. I promise I will get better at it. It's just life has just kind of gone a little wonky.
well, to be fair, amongst the three of us, we just don't have a ton of stuff to post on there anyway. So it's you know, so
Well,
even though
yeah.
I mean, even though technically you're the social media manager, it's also like, collectively, do we even have anything really to post on there? That's the other thing.
Not really,
Yeah,
to
and
be honest.
I think we need to kind of plan stuff ahead of time, kind of like, a little background for you people. We kind of plan out our schedule, if you will, ahead of time, and I think we need to kind of do that for social media too. Might be helpful. So then all you have to do is just post it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would probably be a good idea.
So I can kind of look into that and assist.
On top of everything else
Or
you have to do, Liz. Or
I mean,
Yeah.
nah.
this is what I do. I do this all the time, and I'm never gonna change. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we all get like very ambitious about what we want to do, and then we're like, oh, now we have to actually do this garbage.
yeah, like when we said, "Oh, let's start a podcast."
Yeah.
No.
And
And then
then
it took a while to to get there.
well, okay, to be fair, the actual recording, it wasn't extremely long in terms of like when we were talking about it, and then we actually did it. We
That
started
is
doing it.
true, because
Mhm.
we started recording February, January, end of
January.
January. Yeah,
Yep.
so we've actually almost been recording for a whole year together.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, yeah.
I mean,
But we didn't
December
start posting till
in
June.
right. But we started we started recording in January, but you and Liz were talking about it back in about a year ago around this time.
Liz
If
and
I
I were
remember.
also.
Hmm?
Liz and I were also
Yeah,
before
that's
I
what I
met
meant.
you.
You and Liz were speaking about it
Oh, yeah.
before around this time last year. And then I kind of came into the picture. Liz kind of drew me into the picture. This is all Liz is doing. It's all a part of her design, I swear.
I'm
Nice
that
going,
idea
Liz.
there.
Well,
Yeah.
and what's funny is, so Liz and I met through a fic that I was writing,
Hmm.
and we started private messaging each other on Tumblr about this certain topic that we always talk about, and I'm not going to mention here because that will go off on a tangent. And I don't know, we were just like, oh, we should totally do like a podcast and whatever and blah blah blah, and then like we kind of let it go. And I was like, oh, are we, do we still want to do the podcast or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I think Liz was kind of on the fence until she met you. And then I met you. And then it was kind of like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. Well, it happened because I started the writers Discord.
Right. And you did that day where you just had live like a voice thing, and you guys
Yeah.
were just talking about everything and anything, and that's when it kind of confirmed, like, okay, we can actually do this.
Yeah, and then we came to you and we go, podcast?
And I was like, finally, this is what I've been wanting.
Yeah, I mean, we accidentally did market research on this idea
Yeah.
in that chat, voice chat room.
Yeah.
And thus, Three Fates Decide was born.
Yes. And I have to thank my friend Don, his internet username, Donalith, for coming up with our name. Because I
Yeah.
asked I was talking to him, I'm like, doing a podcast. We need a name. 3 women. He goes, and he came up with a whole bunch, and then that one, I'm like, he goes, how about Three Fates Decide? Or I was like, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Coming up
mean,
with a name is hard.
It is.
especially when, yeah, it is hard, especially when the concept of the show is like it's kind of nebulous. It's
Mhm.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
if we were definitely a movie/TV review discussion show, we would have more of a idea as to what kind of names would work potentially. But the concept of our show as it is, it's a little nebulous. So it's like, I don't know what we would name this thing.
Yep.
So
Yep,
sometimes you
so-
need a third party to think of these things.
Mhm. Well, we had to have a third party come up with our logo too, so
Yes, because none of us are artistic people good at Photoshop.
Yeah, no.
not at all. But
Mm-mm. But listen, there's many things that I can do, but that's not one of them.
exactly. Same here.
I can edit the sound to the best of my ability. I'm not a professional. The only reason I know how to do any of that kind of stuff is I did, go to school for film and TV production, but the major was actually radio, TV, film, so I actually had to learn how to do sound editing separately, and that's pretty much where I am. But I'm not even using like a fantastic program or whatever, but yeah.
But hey, I mean, it just shows you that with some effort, anybody could do this.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And if I had more time, our episodes would probably be edited 10 times better. But, life, work. I work full time, plus doing the color guards thing, which again is only for another 2 weeks. And I like to write, so I'm writing stuff on Tumblr and, you know, this and yeah, life, man, life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make us popular enough that, I don't have to work anymore and then we can talk.
Yeah,
There
I
we go.
mean, just so you listeners realize, like, none of us are being paid to do this. We're just doing this on our own free time. Even like the hosting for our episodes, we are paying out of our own pockets to host all these episodes.
Entertain.
Yes, so you're getting free
Entertain the
entertainment.
masses.
We don't have sponsors where nobody's paying us anything. We are doing it out of, I guess, love, of talk and, to do something creative as a group,
Love of talk.
Yes. We all
Just to
three of us
talk.
like to talk.
What's funny is I'm actually an introvert.
Same.
I don't like to talk to people.
Same.
I hate talking to people actually. So it's quite funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, it may be hard for you listeners to believe this, but actually, in a way, I mean, we're all like, all 3 of us are actually pretty introverted. I don't know. I guess like in a way, oddly enough, doing a show like this is actually better for introverts because you're not being stared at by an audience.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's nobody to psychologically judge you while you're like jabbering away. So it does make it a little bit easier to say what you need to say or what you want to say, without too much
Say what you
judgment.
need to say. Say what you need to say. All right. So, in case anyone, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but my second language is music lyrics and movie and television quotes. If you ever were to talk to my best friends, that's literally what I do. You say something that it sticks into my head, and then I can't help it. I just go. Thus, what I just did. It happens all the time. And I have to stop myself so many times when we're doing podcasts because one of you will say something, and I'm like, "Ooh, I can't say it because we're actually like recording." But since this is free talk, I allowed myself.
Yes. Well, my second language is I'm fluent in, well, actually I have two. I'm fluent in cursing you out or cursing and sarcasm. I'm pretty fluent in both of those.
Oh, yeah.
I have to control myself a lot when we actually record.
Yeah, I'm very
cursing
sarcastic
slips,
too.
the cursing slips through a little
Every
more
once in
often
a
than I
while.
prefer it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. We're human,
We're all
You're
adults here. At least I hope we're all
if you're a
adults here.
youngin', then sorry.
Yeah, you
I bet you
probably
use
shouldn't be
worse
listening
language.
to us if you're under the age of like 18, but can't stop you.
Well, okay, to be fair, I did when I set up our podcast feed, I did mark it off as being potentially explicit. So if we were to curse on the show, it wouldn't be as big of a deal because I gave all you guys warning by marking the show off as explicit, even though I don't have to. Because actually, we don't swear very often. I mean, every once in a while we do, but it's not like we do it like every other sentence or anything.
That's me on a normal day-to-day basis. I told you I rein it in a lot when we record. I really try my hardest not to curse. Try my hardest.
Yeah. But sarcasm, I'm 100% with you. And in sarcasm, like I said, my friends call me Chandler. So it's the truth. I am a sarcastic bitch who likes to quote songs, movies, and TV shows.
Ha.
Well, I always said it was I had a strong resting bitch face because nobody tried to touch my stomach when I was pregnant. Nobody.
For fear of their skin melting off their face.
I
From
swear.
your glare.
I swear. No, I take that back. One person did try to touch my belly, but I didn't really care if she touched it because I knew her. So I was like, whatever. Didn't really bother me. But nobody else.
Right.
I mean, my family didn't even try to touch my belly.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Well, granted, I have a thing about touch, physical touch. I don't like to be physically touched. I don't, but that's because of some trauma that happened in my life when I was younger. And so it's been very strange having a child that constantly wants to touch you.
Yeah, I'm sure. It must be.
Yeah. So to be fair, my parents have learned not to touch me that often.
Yeah, I have a thing about people being too close. Like, if like I'm sitting somewhere and like you sit literally like right on top of me, it drives me nuts. Nuts. Like, there is plenty of room. Back up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel the exact same way as you two, although that's also partially because of it's a cultural thing. I mean, it's just in my culture to not like it when especially total strangers to be too close to you because what's all this about?
Well, yeah, it's a trusting thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, like for anybody who's ever familiar with like East Asian culture and cultures in general, it's a common trait that we don't like it when people are too touchy feely. It's just not our thing. I mean, this is gonna sound bizarre to some people, but like it's genuinely been years since I've actually hugged my parents because or they've hugged me because it's just not a thing. It's not really much of a thing in our culture, actually. Being all touchy feely. I mean, now I think about it, even the same thing with my nieces. Like it's been a few years, I think, since I've actually hugged them because they're both teenagers now, so they're not necessarily like super huggy people either.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah. No, my nephews are 3 and 5, and all they
Mhm.
want is for me to hold them
Mhm.
or, something. So no getting out of that one.
Yeah. That's that with my daughter, 4.5. She's clingy.
Yeah, there's no personal space.
No, she's like a stage 5 clinger.
well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, little kids do like the
Yes.
closeness, the
Yes.
physical reassurance.
I'm completely joking when I say this, but at the same time, I'm completely serious too. I think if she could literally crawl back inside, she would do it. I mean, I'm completely joking, but at the same time, I swear to God, I'm dead serious. Because I more than once told her, I said, Emma, you barely came out the first time. You sure as hell ain't going back in now.
Yes.
And they wonder why some women don't want kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, more power to the women that have children, more power to the women that decide they don't want to have kids.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, everybody is entitled to do what they want. As long as it's on this side of legal, I don't care.
well, I've basically decided because I came up with this theory. Okay. So the women that usually say, and not necessarily you two, but just in general. Okay,
Mhm.
doesn't not every woman, but in general, most women that say I never want to get married, I never want to have kids, wind up getting married with like 10 kids. And the women who are like, "Oh god, I want, a bunch of kids and a husband or whatever," don't get married.
Me.
So so I'm one that wants to get married, I don't need a million kids, but like I want like, one or two. And I think I have to start doing like reverse psychology on myself.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be how it happens because you know not happening right now. I'm not getting any younger.
I mean, it was I swear she's my miracle baby because I'm like, okay, but I'm the lady that I was always the person that wanted kids, but I never wanted the husband. So I'm perfectly okay with the arrangement. I just wish her quote unquote father, because I refuse to use the other term when speaking about him, even though that is what he technically is, was a different person or a better person, I should say. But I have her and I'm happy, so it's okay.
It worked out.
Yes.
I
hmm
I want the package deal. That's just me.
I did for a long time, Sam. Trust me. I was with you for the longest time. I wanted to get married and do it the right way, quote unquote right way. But
I mean, I don't even have to do it in that order,
right.
but I think, and I
Mhm.
think part of it is like I saw my parents were madly in love with each other.
Mhm.
They, met each other at work. They dated for 3 months. My dad proposed. A year later, they were married. And if my dad was still here, they would still be married.
Mhm.
And that's what I want. And I know, obviously, not every marriage is like that. Like, they just happen to find, like, their soulmate or whatever you want to call it. But, like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want. How do I place
I
that order?
yeah. I said that too because I saw because my parents are still married and it'll be 55. It was 55 years this year,
Good for
if I
them.
remember correctly.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
No,
mine's
54
53.
year. I'm sorry, it's 54 years this year, 55 next year. But I have as when I was younger, I was like, I want that. I want to get married and I want to have what my parents have. But as I've gotten older, I've realized it's too easy for people to give up. It's too easy to get divorced. People don't want to work through the problems anymore. And I just realized that if I can't have what my parents had, if I can't be married to the same person for as long as they've been married and have that relationship, the love, the trust, the respect, then I don't want to get married.
Yeah. No, I get
That's
that.
the conclusion I came to. But I was, but I've always been a very cynical person though in that regards though.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you both mean. I mean, my parents, they've been married 53 years. So, it's pretty similar to
Mhm.
your parents married, but yeah, I mean, I theirs is not a perfect marriage either. I mean, they've had their share of arguments that I've seen plenty of times. But, they still find a way to make their relationship work. And I kind of agree with you that it does often feel like, you know, not too many couples actually make an effort to communicate and work around their problems. I mean, funny enough, my brother and my sister-in-law, they've been married 25 years this year, actually. And unfortunately, we couldn't do a party or anything for them,
Mhm.
but I mean, they have found a way to work out whatever problems they may have, which obviously I don't know anything about, precisely because they managed to work it out between themselves privately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for those of us who have seen couples that are lasting, over 20 years perfectly fine as far as you can't help but feel like if I am gonna get married or whatever, I want that. But, it's hard, but it is hard to know whether, this person is gonna be it
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean, my brother's going to be married 10 years next year. And, I think what people forget about is there's a difference between an argument and a fight. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
people make arguments a lot bigger than they need to. And, a relationship it's not easy. And it is, you have to be able to put in the work. And, if you're going to marry someone, like, you need to sit there and be like, are you willing to work for the rest of your life, basically, on making sure that, your relationship is,
Strong.
intact? Yeah, strong. Especially if you want to bring kids into the situation and stuff like that, because
Mhm.
if that's why, like, you really need to make sure you know the person before you even marry them. Like, how many times do you hear people who get married and then they find out, well, my significant other doesn't want kids, but I want kids and whatever. Well, why didn't you have that conversation before? That's
Right.
something you needed to discuss before you signed a
That
contract, basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's something that always boggles my mind whenever I hear like about couples who are in that situation. It's like, I don't get it. I don't
Yeah.
get it. How come you
Yeah.
never had This is not like, oh, do you want to live in a house or live in an apartment? Do you want to still stay subscribed to Netflix or not? I mean, this is not that kind of a
Mhm.
conversation. This is a big deal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to reproduce uh you
Each
know
other, basically.
yeah, do you want to reproduce like little people us's or not? That is
Right.
an important question to have cleared up.
Mhm.
Right. And you hear, well, we had the conversation, but I thought he would change they or he or she would change their mind once we got married. No, no, no.
Hell
No.
no.
No. You
Hell
need to
no.
have a definitive answer before you do that, because it's
Yeah.
like, if they're dead set, like, absolutely not, there's no way I ever want to have kids, and there's absolutely no way that I can't not have kids. You are not meant to be, no matter how much you love them or whatever. And yes, it'll be painful to break up, but, like, a kid is huge.
Mhm.
You're not getting a puppy that, will live a
Well, a
couple
puppy's a huge
years.
commitment too,
No,
but a
they
child's
are.
an even
They
bigger
are.
one.
But a child's even bigger because, they're, yeah, I guess puppy wasn't a good thing. Yeah, this isn't, buying a TV set. How's
There
that?
you go.
This isn't buying a TV set. And then my dog is probably so upset right now that I just used that analogy. But that you're buying a TV set and you can't decide where to put it. Like, this is
Yeah.
are we making a joint person
Are
from
we
our genes?
Are we creating our own cult, basically following?
Yeah. Like,
Because I've created my own people, and I'm their leader, and I'm scared the fact that I'm actually her leader.
at least for a while, till
I'm
she
like,
turns 18.
yeah, I'm like, who the hell ever thought it was a good idea to let me actually be in control of another human being's life? I don't know.
God, my dog just scared the crap out of me. He just barged into my room. Just jumped 10 feet in the air. See, he heard me. He knew.
And that's why he came in. He's like, I heard you talking smack about me.
Listen, animals are kids as well. It's
They
true.
are.
That was a bad choice of words. I just know because dogs don't live as long as people. But
Right. But I know what you were. I knew where you were going with it. But yeah.
oh boy, but yeah. So that's the I guess lesson for that topic is just if you're gonna get married, just make sure that the really important things are settled prior to the wedding. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so before we close out, as usual, we have an email address where you can send us questions, comments, criticisms on how to improve our show. You can email us at threefatesdecide@gmail.com. It's the title of our podcast, all in one word, and the 3 is spelt out.
And you can also reach us on Instagram at 3fatesdecide. The 3 is spelled out. And feel free to send us DMs.
Let us know what you think. We love feedback.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Catch us next time.
And see what we're going to talk about.
Because the 3 fates decide.